In this video, I'm going to be speaking about what I'm calling the tangled web of Q and the planetary awakening. For those that are new to this topic of Q, beginning around the fall of the year 2017, there appeared on some of the forums or message boards on the internet someone called QAnon, who was presenting information related to secret government matters. In other words, talking about the hidden history of our civilization as well as current events, and many different things that are interconnected. So this has grown into the conspiracy meme, you could call it, that has developed a huge following. The Q posts are numbered, and they've been accumulated now on a website, qag.news. There are hidden codes embedded in the different posts, so there's more than one layer of information being presented in this Q phenomenon. There's also a lot of controversy, a lot of different views or opinions about who or what is behind all the Q posts. Is it something that's real and genuine, an honest effort to awaken people to all these different topics? Or is it some type of misdirection, something meant to steer people that are conscious of a lot of these topics towards supporting the current president, or something designed to discredit people who are researchers of hidden history and suppressed information? Those are some of the different views and opinions that you'll find out there on the internet. Ultimately, it's up to each of us to do our own research, to look at all these different topics and form our own understanding, our own point of view about things. Whether or not the Q phenomenon is something that's a genuine effort to awaken people, or some other operation, what it is doing is bringing attention to these types of topics and subjects. Things that the mainstream media and the government have throughout our lives been working to suppress and direct our attention away from and discredit. So whatever the agenda or purpose behind Q may be, it is bringing a lot more people's attention to these topics. It could really bring a lot more awareness on these topics, whether it's understanding corporations and governments, secret societies, spirituality and metaphysics, health and medicine, extraterrestrial phenomenon, and so on. So rather than arguing and having debates with people about whether you think this is something genuine or not, something beneficial or not, just take the opportunity to expand your own awareness and consciousness in regards to these many different subjects that in a sense are very much interconnected and interrelated. Early on in the phenomenon of the Q posts, there was a post pointing to a particular map or chart that had been developed. This map contains hundreds of different names, titles, organizations, topics, all laid out on this sheet that presents different connections between them. It's sort of a flowchart, guiding people to look at many different topics and subjects, matters that in general have been conspiracy research topics. And when I say conspiracy research, I'm really talking about truth research, or research to look at the actual history, the actual science, the knowledge that underlies everything that we're seeing in this world around us. In the past, the government and different agencies of the government and media have attempted to discredit the phrase conspiracy, trying to call people who research these things that want to get real, more accurate, deeper understanding, labeling them as conspiracy theorists, and often attaching other words to the phrase such as crazy or fringe or baseless conspiracy theory, without ever offering any solid evidence or proof that these theories really are off-based. So we each need to get past any of those psychological efforts that are designed to bring our attention away from these certain things, and be open to explore any topic for ourselves, to look at the data that is actually available, the information, the testimonies, and so on. I'm going to go through a quick look through on that map, that flowchart that was shared on the Q boards. So quickly, this is a very large, long sheet, and it covers things ranging from secret governments, secret societies, to extraterrestrial phenomenon, to mind control phenomenon, to corporate agendas. So there are many different things that can be explored there. Looking at one section of it now, there is a section that says Dwight D. Eisenhower, Military Industrial Complex. And near that you have Secret Space Program, NASA, Henry Kissinger, Jackie Onassis, JFK, King Sacrifice, Marilyn, refers to Marilyn Monroe. The Zapruder film, which was a film of the JFK shooting, the Gulf of Tonkin, Vietnam, Agent Orange, Richard Nixon, Watergate, Pentagon Papers, Montauk Project, Psychic Warfare, Remote Viewing, 20 and Back, Project Pegasus, Andrew Basiago, Deep Throat, Illuminati Card Game, National Reconnaissance Office, Ronald Reagan, Archons, Demiurge, The Cabal, Pindar, Council of 13, Saturnalian Brotherhood, Merovingian Bloodline, George H.W. Bush, CIA Director, Committee of 300, Think Tanks, Central Banks, The Round Table, International Corporations, Sheep and Cattle in quotations, which refers to how the so-called elite view the masses. Under that, New World Order, Hillary Clinton, Whitewater, Bill Clinton, John Benet Ramsey, Princess Diana, Lockheed Martin, Skull and Bones, Yale, Climate Change, Fluoridation, Agenda 21, GMOs, Geoengineering, Chemtrails, Monsanto, SV40, Vaccines, Big Pharma, Depopulation, Fort Detrick, Robert Gallo, Lytton Bionetics. This is just a small sampling of some of the things that are here, and I would invite and encourage people that are interested in exploring what's been hidden from the public to look through that map that you'll find presented by QAnon. These are topics that I've been researching myself and reading about for over 20 years, so they're things that I'm quite aware of, and these are all, for the most part, quite real topics, things that are worth understanding more about. So to bring attention to these topics is something worthwhile. If you're not aware of many of these topics that Q is presenting in that map, then don't be quick to pass judgment about things. There's obviously a lot that you haven't researched, things that you haven't discovered or explored or become aware of. So if we don't know much about things, then who are we to make judgment or a conclusion about these things? So really, take the time to educate yourself to gain some more understanding of these things. Whether Q is accurate about things going on with current events or not, there is a lot of historical information that Q has brought to people's attention, essentially the things that foment and facilitate this planetary awakening process that is occurring. There's so many things that have been hidden from the general population that are now being brought to light. Much of this has occurred through the power of the internet, through this electronic medium where it's easy to bring information to a greater audience, to place something on a forum or a website or social media, and people will be able to instantly access that. This is perhaps the first time in recorded history where people have been able to have so much access to information. This is, in a sense, decentralized information. So you don't have a church, you don't have a government, you don't have media corporations that have absolute control over the people's access to information. People can research any topic that they wish to, anything that's of interest to them. Many people have been concerned that Q is presenting this idea, implying that the current president of the United States is working with or cooperating with an alliance that is seeking to start bringing mass exposure to these topics, to help get the public ready and acclimated to a plan to take down the existing so-called cabal or power structure. Time will tell if this does play out, if that's actually what's going to happen. On the map that has been shared by the QAnon people, there is reference to the Nuremberg trial with the year 2019 under that. There is also something verifiable, something that is very much factual, that anyone can prove to themselves, researching online, that there are thousands of sealed indictments that have been created at the federal government level in the United States. This is exponentially more than there would typically be in such a period of time. So it implies that there is some type of process underway, some operation, to prosecute many people for certain types of activities. If those will end up being unsealed and we'll be able to discover what is actually going on, this is something that we'll have to observe. Unless we're directly involved with what's going on, We're kind of bystanders to that, even though whatever is happening will ultimately affect us all. If the power structure of our civilization is being transformed in some way, then that's going to impact every aspect of society, whether it's the economic system, the governmental system, the healthcare system, the education system, the sciences, the arts, and so on. This can have an impact on all of our lives, so it might be something for you to explore and learn more about, rather than just completely ignoring it and pretending that none of this is happening. We may want to observe and be open to learning things, to understanding things that might have been hidden from us for a very, very long time.